The House of 1,000 Corpses, Gacy's Basement, and the Crawlspace of Horror. A well-liked man with dark secrets. From the outside, 8213 West Summerdale Avenue looked like any other house in suburban Chicago. Neatly trimmed lawn, a small American flag waving near the porch. Neighbors often saw the homeowner at community events, smiling, shaking hands, and making balloon animals for kids. He was a local contractor, a registered Democrat. He even posed for photos with the First Lady once. And on weekends, he dressed up as a clown to entertain children at parties. His name was John Wayne Gacy. People called him Pogo the Clown, but behind the makeup was something no costume could hide. Inside that house, under the floorboards, deep within the crawl space, was a graveyard. One that would change the meaning of the word monster in American history. A missing teen and a gut feeling. It all began to unravel in December 1978. 15-year-old Robert Peast was supposed to come home after his shift at the local pharmacy. He had one quick errand, to speak with a contractor about a potential summer job. He left the store. He was never seen again. His mother knew something was wrong. Robert wasn't the kind of kid to run away. He was scheduled to go ice skating that night with friends. He never showed up. When police looked into the contractor he met that day, one name came up: John Wayne Gacy. At first, Gacy seemed cooperative, friendly, confident. But detectives couldn't shake the feeling that something was off. He talked too much, offered too many details, and when they asked to search his home, he refused. That was enough to raise suspicion. And as they dug deeper, the real horror began to surface. The stench of truth. The police obtained a search warrant. When they stepped into Gacy's house, something hit them instantly. The smell. It was thick, sour, and unmistakable. Not just mold or rot. It was the scent of death, soaked into the walls and floorboards. Detectives found several odd things. A trapdoor in the closet, leading to a crawl space, handcuffs, a receipt for film that linked him to a missing boy, and lime. Lots of lime. The crawl space was cramped, tight, just 3 feet of clearance, and underneath it, freshly disturbed earth. It was cold, dark, silent. They dug, and they found something. Bones, then more bones, then a skull. The house was not just a crime scene. It was a burial ground. By the time they were done searching, police had unearthed 29 bodies from beneath the house, most of them young boys. All of them discarded like garbage. The double life of a killer. To outsiders, John Wayne Gacy was a community man. He ran a successful construction business. He was active in local politics. He hosted neighborhood BBQs. He even volunteered for charitable causes, always smiling, always helpful. But at night, he became something else entirely. He would lure boys with the promise of work, offer them money, drinks, a place to hang out. He'd show them a magic trick with handcuffs. And once they were locked in, the nightmare began. Gacy tortured them, strangled them, sometimes kept their bodies under his bed for a day or two before burying them in the crawl space. He told one detective, "Not all of them were dead when I buried them." It wasn't just murder, it was sadism, planned, cold, calculated. He lived two lives, one for the world to see, and one in the dark. Confession in a cold room. As the evidence piled up, Gacy was arrested and brought in for questioning. At first, he denied everything, said he was being framed, that the smell in the crawlspace was just mold and rodents. But after hours of interrogation, something shifted. He leaned back, smiled, and said, "Let me tell you about the bodies." What followed was a confession so chilling, so casual, that even seasoned detectives were shaken. He described how he buried them, how he spaced the graves apart to avoid flooding, how he ran out of room and started dumping bodies in the nearby Des Plaines River. In total, he admitted to killing 33 young men and boys. It was the worst serial killing case in Illinois history. When asked why he did it, Gacy offered no remorse, only this: "I'm the judge, jury, and executioner." Trial of a monster. The trial of John Wayne Gacy began in 1980. It was one of the most publicized cases of the decade. Crowds lined up outside the courtroom. Reporters flooded the streets. Everyone wanted to see the man behind the mask. Gacy's defense? Insanity. His lawyers claimed he had dissociative identity disorder, that Pogo the Clown was one of his personalities, and he wasn't aware of the killings. But the evidence was overwhelming. Photographs, witnesses, personal belongings of the victims found in his home, and his own words, a confession filled with disturbing detail. The jury deliberated for just 2 hours, and then the verdict: guilty on all 33 counts of murder. The judge sentenced him to death. Gacy responded with a smirk and said, "Kiss my ass." The final show. For 14 years, Gacy sat on death row at Menard Correctional Center. While awaiting execution, he painted clowns, skulls, twisted landscapes. His artwork sold for thousands of dollars. Collectors and true crime fanatics fueled his twisted legacy. He gave interviews, smiled for the camera, insisted he was innocent, or, at worst, misunderstood. But the families of the victims never forgot. They waited, they mourned, and they hoped for justice. On May 10th, 1994, John Wayne Gacy was executed by lethal injection. His final meal? Fried chicken, shrimp, French fries, strawberries, and a Diet Coke. His last words? Still the same. "Kiss my ass." But the house? The one on Summerdale Avenue? It was demolished, burned down, erased, as if to say, this place will no longer hold evil. The darkness beneath. Today, nothing remains of the house. No crawl space, no foundation, just an empty lot, covered in grass, watched by silence. But the scars remain, in the families who lost their sons, in the investigators who had to crawl beneath that house, in the city of Chicago. That learned evil can wear a smile. John Wayne. Gacy was not a ghost. He was not a monster from a horror film. He was a man, a neighbor, a party clown. And perhaps that's what makes his story the most terrifying of all. Because the true horror is that you never really know what hides behind a closed door. And sometimes, it's not what's under the bed you should fear. It's what lies beneath your feet.
Subscribe for more chilling mysteries. Thanks for being here. See you in the next time.